I start a new game in Astroneer and I start running right away. No oxygen, no generators. I run towards the nearest gateway chamber. On the way I use resin to make oxygen tanks. I mess up though and I almost die. Resin was less common in this seed. It's a close call and I only collected one resin. I'll need more if I'm going to last long enough to power the gateway and then the planet core. This is a tough seed. The area I'm in is very mountainous and I'm not seeing a lot of resin. I find more resin, but I run low on power. I need one compound to make a generator to ensure I have enough power to produce more oxygen tanks. I make my generator and I grab one vegetation as fuel. Time to find more resin. I want a backpack full of oxygen before I start drilling to the core. Let's grab 2 more compound. I need 3 generators total to power the gateway chamber. The planet core is locked until a surface gateway is powered. With enough generators and resin, I head back to the gateway. This has to be the worst possible seed. The gateway chamber is completely buried inside a mountain, and I get stuck in pits and geometry as I approach. My terrain tool isn't even strong enough to dig through the mountain rock, so I have to run and jump against steep slopes to progress. I almost die when I get stuck between a wall and an enemy plant. I'm still stuck on terrain. This is ridiculous. I get some distance and look for the best angle of approach. This takes me so long I have to find more resin. I find a big patch. This is good. I have 3 generators and 1 spare vegetation. As a bonus, I come across some XP. Normally I'd take dynamite too for later, but right now I want space for extra oxygen. I tunnel into the mountain at an angle I assume will intersect with the gateway floor, but I go further down than seems correct. I turn around when I hit soft dirt. Yeah, that was way too far. I decide to dig right beside the pillar instead. The pillar will intersect with the floor at some point. I find the floor, but I'm disoriented. I dig around the pillar and eventually I find the right direction. I uncover the power outlet. My pack goes off camera when I try to take out the generators because the roof is too low. I dig out the roof to give more access to the generators on top of my pack. Connecting all 3 generators will provide enough power. While they run, I start digging to the core. I'll have to run back up and take 1 generator with me when they finish. I like to use the flat tool when I dig. It allows me to slide and dig at the same time. If I breach through to a cavern, dirt from my canister creates a bridge beneath me as I slide. I stop when I see resin. This will fill my pack and give me more than enough oxygen. In the distance, I see quartz. I need 2 quartz to power the planet core, so I grab that at the same time. If I have space in my pack, more oxygen is always a good idea. When I hit hard dirt, I find it easier to switch to the non-flat drill tool. It's more risky because I could fall into a cavern, but as long as I don't die, I'll be good because I don't need to make my way back up and I have a large oxygen supply. I don't have enough soil in my canister to build a bridge all the way down, so I try to stick close to a wall for resupply. This is a steeper angle than I would normally use, but I'm just trying to go fast. It would be hard or impossible to walk up an angle this steep. I have to go slower when the dirt gets hard. If I had zinc and clay and 2000 XP, I could create the boost and the drill mod tool, but off the start of the game, I don't have that. In low gravity, I can just fall down. I worry I'm still falling too fast, so I drift towards the wall. If running against a wall, you don't take lethal fall damage when you hit the ground. I want to collect Astronium before powering up the core. Each one gives 500 XP in a research chamber. This will be a good XP boost once I get back to my base, and with the planet core powered, I can always teleport down later to get more. Powering the planet core is an objective that I get XP and items for completing upon returning to my base. I can only dig the dark shade of green rock, so I have to search for a spot that goes through to the core. It's disorienting underground, but if I stand still, I can tell which way is down by the faint gravity and my head being oriented to the top of the screen. I let myself fall through, steer toward the center. I want to fall on the side with 3 triangle platforms, not the side with a single center platform. I brought 2 quartz. I'll need 1 to activate the core, and I'll bring 1 back to my base for a later mission. I run up the wall to the ceiling and power the core. From here, I teleport to the surface. This will be interesting because I should get stuck in the mountain upon materializing on the surface. I end up on top of the gateway chamber. Time to head back to my base for the first time. I fall in a pit on the way, and my drill is too weak to dig the walls. I decide to build a ramp to get out, and that's super effective. Back at my base, I start completing landing pad objectives and collecting rewards. I should get credit for powering the core once I unlock that objective in the chain. The first few objectives are easy and give useful rewards. They unlock more objectives that have bigger payouts. I need to collect 4 resin and 4 compound for an objective. I collect 6 as that's a number that will let me build some useful things later. I grab 1 vegetation for my generator and I collect 6 compound. Lights in the distance is the name of the gateway chamber objective. This should already be complete because I visited 1 already, but it looks like it didn't count because the objective wasn't unlocked at the time of my visit. I complete a few more objectives and I decide to swing by the gateway chamber again. Maybe if I complete the visit objective, I'll get credit for powering the gateway and the planet core at the same time, which are both objectives that unlock after completion of the gateway visit objective. This time I build a ramp, which makes it way easier to climb the mountain. When I get credit for visiting, I check the objectives, and the game did credit me with powering the gateway core. Nice. The reward I want is the QT-RTG, a small power generator that gives 1 unit of power forever without any input. I won't have to carry a generator anymore and the vegetation to power it. I head back and grab my reward. This puts me in a great position to take on the rest of the game. By collecting aluminum and zinc from underground, I can make drill bits and a small shuttle. I can research Astronium for XP and use the gateway to teleport down to get more. With a steady supply of XP and a QT-RTG, I prepare to repeat this same process on the other planets.